even deliver the mail, can we?
Especially in my neighborhood, yeah, it's really bad.
And the stuff has an address right on the front, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We keep hearing America needs to win the AI race. But what does winning actually mean? Is there a finish line? A gold medal? Welcome to American Hearings. Senator Kennedy just asked the question nobody in Washington seems to have a real answer for, and when he pushed for solutions on AI job displacement, what he got back wasn't much better than the question itself.
Senator Kennedy, the floor is yours, sir.
Mr. Fife, is that how you say your name?
Yes, sir.
I continue to read and hear that we have to win the AI race. What does that even mean? Generally, we heard that with 5G. Generally, we hear that when somebody in the private sector says, we're behind China, give us some money. If we are ahead, eventually China's going to catch up. And then China gets ahead, and we catch up with them. Ultimately, and there's no finish line here, where the first one who crosses gets a gold medal. This stuff keeps evolving. Aren't we ultimately going to have to sit down with China and reach some sort of compromise in terms of a modicum of cooperation?
Well, I think, Senator, I think the questions about whether this race vocabulary and metaphor are exactly right are very well taken. I think it's inexact at best, but there are comparisons possibly with previous generations of strategic technology like nuclear weapons, where I think maintaining that the US and our allies have a stronger foundation of strategic technology, including as it needs to be innovated across generations and including as after the Soviets got a nuclear weapon in their time several years after us, is extremely important. And the fact that this is commercially innovated.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't have time for history. Dr. Winston, I want to make sure you're heard here. Well, before I come to you, let me ask Mr. Reinhardt. Do you think we ought to have state-owned AI companies?
No,
Are you a fan of the state-owned companies in China?
No, not
Whether
not at all.
The federal government takes a big stake and runs the show?
No, I do not.
We can't even deliver the mail, can we?
Especially in my neighborhood, yeah, it's really bad.
And the stuff has an address right on the front, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that we can be smart about how we do grant programs. I mean, there's ways that we can be smart about the
grant programs.
Well, just the various, we've had, as we talked about, some of the CHIPS Act, parts of the CHIPS Act program are still out.
You understand there are alternatives to grants. They're called loans.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I think there's lots of parts of the federal government that we can think about being smart about our investments in AI. And that doesn't necessarily require any sort of ownership.
Well, look, I think the people developing AI, this is true worldwide, but it's certainly true in the United States. These are brilliant people. Right now, they're spending money to try to be the biggest and the best and the wealthiest. And I don't mean disrespect when I say this. I'm proud of them as American entrepreneurs, but I trust them like I trust a rest stop bathroom. I remember when one of the leaders in another hearing about a year ago, I asked him, I said, man, you must make a lot of money. And he said, oh, no, I do this for the goodness of the people. I only get my health insurance paid. Wrong. So, Dr. West, you make a good point, but I guess my question is, what do you expect us to do? It's here. And people are going to lose their jobs. I hate to see that. I might lose mine. But what are we supposed to do about that?
I think it's a great question because there's this sort of generalized environment that this is inevitable and we all have to just kind of deal with the consequences.
Yes, ma'am, I understand the problem. I admire the problem. I'm looking for a solution. Tell me what you think we ought to do when somebody loses their job as a result of AI.
In the next 10 seconds or so.
Oh, wow.
I think we need strong accountability measures that restrain the actions of this industry that are sort of experimenting in the wild with the release of these
Dr. West,
tools.
that tells me nothing. I'm sorry. I'm way over. But you're a good man for letting me go over.
Yes, sir. Well, I just wanted to associate myself with your comments about the rest stop bathrooms. Yes, sir. There's not a lot of confidence in those.
You
sir.
gotta be careful. The
Yes, sir.
coffee's lousy too.
Yes, sir. Well, hadn't had that experience.
Especially in Maine, evidently.
Welcome back to American Hearings. Kennedy opens with a question that sounds almost too simple for a Senate hearing. What does winning the AI race even mean? And yet nobody in the room can give him a clean answer. His point is sharper than it sounds. The race framing implies a finish line. But technology doesn't work that way. The US pulled ahead on nuclear weapons. The Soviets caught up. We stayed ahead for decades. China is coming. If they get ahead, we'll respond. There's no trophy at the end, just an endless cycle of investment and counter-investment. Kennedy asks whether, at some point, cooperation with China on AI isn't the more honest long-term strategy. The rest stop bathroom line is the most quotable moment of the session, but it's doing real analytical work. Kennedy is drawing a distinction between admiring American AI entrepreneurs and trusting them to act in the public interest. He explicitly isn't saying they're dishonest. He's saying incentive structures matter. The state-owned AI company question is equally pointed. Kennedy isn't seriously advocating for government-run AI. He's testing whether witnesses have actually thought through what federal investment means at scale, and whether grants are fundamentally different from ownership stakes. When he finally asks what we do about people who lose their jobs because of AI, the answer he receives is accountability measures. Kennedy calls it for what it is. It tells him nothing. He says so directly, without apology, and thanks the witness for letting him run over time. Sometimes the most honest thing a senator can do in a hearing is name when the experts don't have the answer. Subscribe to American Hearings.